Our next speaker wouldn't need much introduction, I don't think, introduction to most of us here in the room. Most of us probably do know Susan Shirtliff. She's the CEO of the Nullabandi Bindi Aboriginal Corporation. If I said that right or wrong, I'll get there one day. But Susan's going to give us a bit of a talk on her experiences. Thanks, Susan.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you very much. It's Nali Undu Bindidi. Nali Undu Bindidi. The G's just there to trick you. Just ignore the G and keep going, you'll be fine. Nali Undu Bindidi. Nali Undu is a place. Good morning, everybody. My name is Susan Shirtliff. I'm the CEO of Nali Undu Bindidi and also Brita Proprietary Limited, and it's great to be here with you. I also want to acknowledge my colleagues and one of my directors. Karratha is the manager of Ways to Work, and she's sitting there at the centre table. And Alec Tucker is on my board, and we don't often have Alec with us at business meetings, and thank you very much for your time. Any questions about this will be around later on. I'm not a government department, you've probably worked that out already, and I'm definitely not a person here who's here to give you money, but I do want to tell you about having accessed some of these elements of funding, because they've worked for us. So I'm just going to whip you through very, very quickly how it is that we access that. And we access the money for our project, which is called Ways to Work. Nali Undu Bindidi. Bindidi means star, so you'll see stars all over the place, including on our uniforms. And Nali Undu is a place, which is essentially the coastal Pilbara. We are Roburn's community organisation. We're 100% Aboriginal owned. We have an Aboriginal board, and our objective is about the people of Roburn and achieving their self-determination and well-being, which is a very strange place for somebody to be that's talking about business. We've been here for a long time. We started in 1970. We've had a really interesting history. We got busy about 5 years ago when CDP stopped, and we put together a plan which is called Getting Serious About Roburn. In that plan, there were 6 major strategic projects, the first of them being our children, our children, our children, our children. The second of them being our enterprise, which is called Brita. Brita is a gardening and landscaping contractor for industry. The third of our projects is called Healing, and that's largely about communication. The fourth of our projects is about sustainability in a business sense, and continuity in the sense of our generations and our languages and our ideas. The fifth is about Ways to Work, and it's all about accessing the labour market. And the sixth is about our staff. The IFSP is the Industry Facilitation Support Program. It's delivered by the Western Australian Government, and we accessed it through the Department of Finance. I'm going to tell you about that. I'm going to take you back to the beginning of our strategic plan, which is back in 2010, when we had a look at the labour market. We had a look at all of the labour jobs that were available and the people out in Roburn that we represent and how to get them to come together. There's a whole heap of barriers to entry. There's really big employers that you know about. There's SMEs that we largely are, and small employers. We've got highly motivated and highly unmotivated people for a range of reasons, everything from pregnancy to you name it. The process that we use, and I think that a number of us would know, is kind of laborious to try and get the two to match. We've got some very big needs and some very specific, unique needs on the other side. The way that we do this is fairly laborious. We know this because we delivered CDEP for a very long time, and then the IEP. So we started to focus on the job itself from the perspective of the labour market. I'm whipping through this very quickly. Then we started to, by focusing on the job itself, deliver opportunities for Aboriginal people to see whether or not changing the concept would work, and we were pretty much overwhelmed with the response. In order to get that happen and take it off a paper-based system and to make it worthwhile and to make sure that everybody could access it, we started to look at how we use digital technology to get these two things to meet. For this, we needed some help, and we went to the Department of Innovation, who helped us through Enterprise Connect to do a full business review. And then we, on the other side of our business review, we accessed the $20,000 that was available on the other side of that to do a business case analysis on whether or not this brilliant idea would work. And then we got busy building the back end to make it happen. Behind this idea are three basic principles. Ways to Work is the master strategy. It's about establishing the things that you need in 2013, gosh, the years are going so quickly. A Milli Mile is essentially a place that your paper goes. If you don't have access to a full-time house, you need somewhere for your mail to go, and it may not be that clear if you move from one region of the Pilbara to another. Apart from that, that's your post box. Everything else is pretty much straightforward. Getting access to that before you even start is necessary. Then when we want to go to work, you're definitely going to need a driver's licence. You can't get on site up here in the Pilbara, as you guys know, without one. It takes some processing to do. And while you're going through that process, you're probably looking for some work, or you need some stability while you're going through the process of getting your driver's licence, sorting out your bits and pieces, working out, waiting for the baby to be born, that your Mugadoo crew was born. So we started to work operationally in the back end, and we made sure this little diagram is about allowing the people to choose which of the services they need, which might only be one, might just be, hey, I need to get my driver's licence, or all three of them. So in 2012, I can show this is just evidence that we started to deliver it on the ground so that we could get ready for when we were able to deliver it more broadly. You can see that we could have a group of people here going through the Ways to Work process. Here's a group of people going through the Red Dirt Driving Academy, a whole heap of people waiting to deal with fines and suspensions and things. And this is the number of people over the last 12 months that were working with the crew. That's 25. That's the supervisor holding it together through the summer period. We got very busy in 2012. So we worked with the Industry Facilitation Support Program to be able to deliver the online engine that allows people to access this. Now, when I'm talking about people to access it, I'm actually meaning SMEs. When you need to employ an Aboriginal person, how do you get access to one? That's what the IFSP is about. It's also about the Aboriginal people themselves jumping online to see what jobs are available. So we started to build it, and there's the process. We're about here. We had to move office. We're still building the new infrastructure in our new office. It's just about finished. We're about here. We're doing the data wash. It's about to go in. Through this period, we'll be coming out to particularly local SMEs so that you can access Aboriginal people that you want to have working, good, solid, local, talented people. And who has them. So they may be out at Roburn, they may be through some of our labour agencies. I know that Refap's here, I did see, there's Kelly, you can definitely see them through there. And then we'll be talking to the community about accessing it, so we're on the path. So what we've learned in the process of that with the assistance that we received to get this far is that the community uptake has been very strong, very strong. We've also had a very strong support from SMEs and contractors. They're even impatient to find out, how can we get access to the labour force that Roburn represents? How do we work with people to get them to the point where they're site ready, or that they are able to select a job that they want to do? The structure of Ways to Work online has become more like a classifieds-like structure, which allows us to have quite a lot of editorial impact to be able to have people interested in what's going on the site. Our office relocation has had some impact on what it is that we do, some of it positive, some of it negative. On the whole, necessity has been a very good mother of invention. It's been an aspirational project. We had a brilliant idea, and my goodness me, it's been quite a journey to get there. And I'm very proud of what the staff have done to get us through to it. But the desire to connect from the SMEs, from businesses that we work with, and from the Aboriginal people themselves to be able to make the choice about who do they go to, who do they talk to, whose office to sit in, has been very strong. The revenue opportunities that we look at are much broader than we had in mind when we started. The alignment is important to us. Working on this project actually allows us to align to everybody's businesses, particularly not competing. There's definitely a great way for us to work together. So we can work with the other Aboriginal corporations, Nullama Aboriginal Corporation, Yindjibarndi Aboriginal Corporation, Nullama Yindjibarndi Foundation Limited, the Murrujuga Aboriginal Corporation, Yandina Murrunkara, the Community Resource Centre at Roban Reefat, there you are, and others. And so they go on. And of course, all the SMEs that are gearing up, it allows us to work with you. Our local project staffing is really critical, so I was interested in the immigration information that you had there. We actually did access a graduate from California for 2 years, so we did have that support. And if we could have had cloning technology around, I would have liked it, but staffing for these projects is very critical, and the process is definitely assisting us. So going through a process of innovation out there has been extremely worthwhile. So there's a snapshot of the website that we built for ourselves as part of the journey. That's it at the moment. There's the Brita team. There's a rolling photograph. There they are. There's Alec Tucker. You get about, Mr. Tucker. And this is the portal that will be refreshed when we get there. And that's how we've been using our access to these funds. So I encourage you from a business perspective that even small innovations out there in Roebourne have been very helpful working with the state and the federal governments. We haven't found it overly onerous. I do want to make the point, I often get asked, how much money does the government give us? Not enough is the answer. 4% of our turnover, even with this support, comes from government. The rest of the money that we spend, we earn, and we take it from the business that we run, and we're not government sponsored. But when we need to put our hand up for some help, I do want to thank the Department of Commerce, the Department of Innovation, and certainly the help that we got through immigration to get this far. Thank you very much.